Alright, Dwayne here, PhoenixTypewriter.com. We got a Selectric 2, IBM Selectric 2 in the shop, and it is a broken belt. Look at that. And it's probably the original belt. It's definitely got these cracks in the belt. If you can see that on the camera. But it's got a bunch of cracks, which is, when you inspect these and you see these cracks, you know that belt's got a limited lifespan. And sure enough, it broke. New belt, no cracks, do not crimp. It doesn't like to be crimped. Okay, we're going to put that on this Selectric 2. Let's just hop to it. Take this out of the case here. We'll see how quickly we can put a belt in this machine. Okay. Alright, let's move this carriage over. Tools we're going to probably need here today are going to be a wrench, 1/4 inch 5/16, cycle tool, nice screwdriver, new belt, and some hemostats, and maybe a wrench. Let's take a look and see what we need to use first. First thing we're going to do is stick our cycle tool in here and move this carrier all the way over. There we go. I'll just move it over like it's got power. Take this dust cover off down here. Okay. And there's our pulley right there. We gotta get the belt in there, so we gotta take off some stuff over here, including the spring on the dual pitch arm. There's one of the nuts we're going to use right away. This is just a little safety cover right here that comes off. And first thing we're going to do is take the gear pack off right there. So it's got a couple big screws there. There we go. There we go. This is if you get it off just right, it'll go back on there just right. That comes off. And then we're going to let's flip it on this back here. We'll see this a little better. We gotta loosen this end cover. Pull the operational shaft out. It's got 3 screws. This one here is just the screw. Oops. Get this. Knocking the camera. But these other 2 screws both have a. This one up here's got the dust cover bracket as part of the screw. Okay. So just beware that it's also got this piece right here as part of the goes on there with the screw, so that goes through there. I'll show you when we reassemble it. And this top one is, sometimes it's a screw and sometimes it's a bolt head, which is what it is now, and I think it's 1/4 inch. It is. Let's loosen that. Get that off of there. Okay, and that's also got a bracket that's part of the assembly. Alright, what's the deal here? Oh, my bad. It's got the other side of this. The other side of that screw has got this little assembly on it. It's got to come off. Okay, so I need a small spring hook. And it's got a spring right here. Goes around this piece. Okay, come on. Like that. And then this piece will come off right there. I'm just going to drop it through there. And now that bolt will come all the way out. Should have done that to begin with, but that's okay. Okay, there's the little safety. This goes on. When the bolt goes through, it goes like that. Okay. So all we need to do now is slide this shaft out. Slide this shaft out so we can get the belt, manipulate the belt down around here. Let's cycle this through so it's not in any kind of cycle mode, so it should be just turning free here. Okay, let's pull the shaft. So you can't just pull the shaft out like this. You've got to move this whole plate assembly down right here. That's got to go down, be compressed. And then when that's compressed, there's still a selection piece under here that's got to be moved out of the way. I'll show you what needs to be done under here. So this selection rack needs to be compressed like this. Full compression right here. And what we're going to do here is prop the screwdriver right through here. So it's against the frame and it's against here, and if I push, it's going to compress that. See that? So that's where we want it, just like that, all compressed. So what I'm going to do is set the machine down on the screwdriver, and it's going to compress that, and that'll give us clearance to get this off. So this is going to come down, and it's going to press against the screwdriver. So it's kind of raised up like that, but it has compressed this assembly far enough where we can manipulate the shaft out of here. This is a little tricky to film because it's way down in the innards. But, yeah, we'll just try. Okay, so now the shaft will come out. See it move a little easier. There's a rod, and I don't know if you can see it from the camera view. So down here, there's these selection rods right here, or links. Right there's the first one, and that one's got to be pushed down to get this cam past it. So that's what I'm going to do to move that cam past. So I'm going to get down in here. I'm going to hold that piece down with this hook, and then the shaft will come out. And got to get past that point. There it goes. That's all we got to do is get that shaft open right there. If you get it that far, there's a gap right there now. That's where the belt's going to go. So, this takes a little bit of manipulating, but like the belt, and you've got to manipulate it around the pulley. And it's a little tricky, especially with the camera in my way, but I'm going to try this. Let's see if we can get it on there. Okay, around there, and then the even trickier part is getting it around this latch assembly. But you'll have to figure that out. It's got to go around down through here, which is a little tricky. No easy way to tell you how to do that besides try it, and it goes around just like that. It will fit through here. Shoot. It's impossible to do this with the camera in my face. Okay, let's see. I'm still not getting it. With the camera in my way. Okay, let's see if we can do something like that. Okay, let's push this through. Around, there we go. When it gets in there, it's in there. And clear of all that stuff. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and stick the shaft back in since we got the camera right here. So lift this up, get that started, and then when you get about that far, you've got to move that link back out of the way. Right there. So push down on that link, and then stick this on the rest of the way. I'm going to manipulate this little collar out of the way, and that should, when it's in there right, this bracket here on the end will be flush against the edge, so it's back in there all the way proper. Alright, let's pull back, and we can lift this back up. We can release that, and we'll go ahead and put the screws back in this side bracket. Alright, just gotta line this up with the screw holes. There we go. It's got small detents where it fits in there just right, but let's get this one started right there. This is the one with no bracket. Let's start with that. Get that started, and that'd be kind of our guide. Get it on it and just snug it up, not even too tight, so that way we can move this bracket still. All right, let's do the top one there, right there. So that takes this this piece and that piece, and that goes through there. Oops. Through there. And it's going to go like that. So, let's see if we can get this in here. Come on, camera. Hold still. And we'll get our nut driver. Get this thing started. We'll just up where it belongs. And tighten. Again, we're just going to snug this up tight and back off a half turn. Now, this last screw should be pretty lined up right there. This one is a little tricky. So the screw goes in there like, okay, let's see. This bracket actually goes up through and the screw goes like this. This is a little tricky to get on. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this real well on the camera, but with your hand, fingers around, this is how I do it. And then up through there and down and in there like that. Bingo, I think I got it. Okay, tighten that up a little bit. This bracket's got a lot of adjustment, just kind of center it for now. Okay. Bracket's not totally tight. We're going to tighten this one up a little more. We'll tighten this one up a little more. And make sure this stays up out of the way for now. And let's see what we're doing here. Okay, if everything is right, none of the timing is, I mean, it's really critical, this timing between this gear, and this gear, and this gear pack. But if everything goes right, she should stay back together, because this filter shaft should be right where it was. If not, it needs to be repositioned just this side of those interposers. So they need to be able to go down. So right there. And just for reference, of course, the center shaft should be about 1 o'clock. It's a little high right here. We're going to move it right about there. So that should be, a high noon would be right there, 1 o'clock right there, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock the key slot. Okay, key slot noon, 1 o'clock right there. And now let's put on the gear pack. This is always a little tricky. Okay, let's give this a shot. Gear pack. Make sure it's free. Yeah, I guess while you're at it, you should make sure everything is pretty free in here. But just get this in here and see if you can get that in those two gears first. Come back, move this bracket and get this last one kind of lined up and see how she fits. Okay, so listen, this has a lot of adjustment, a lot of leeway. See these holes right up here? So there's a lot of movement and positioning that can be in. You just move these gears, it shifts. But if everything is right, those two holes, screw holes, will line up just about right. Well, we're going to give it a try right there. These take the one screws with a little bigger head. They're a little bigger than the other screws. So let's see if you can get that started. Very good. And let's snug it up just a little bit. And be able to get the second one lined up there. Let's try it again. Okay, I'm just going to snug that up, and then I'm going to move it a little bit. There should just be a little bit of play. You don't want these gears bound up tight. This one seems a little tight up here. I'm going to see if I can loosen this a little and manipulate the bracket. Alright, well, let's go ahead and tighten this up a little tighter. Okay, so everything's back together here. Let's put the belt on the motor from the back here. So the belt, you can reach in here with a hook, pull the belt through, and there's the belt. And you can just kind of, if you push this motor in like this, push it in a little bit, you can get that belt to just, you can push it around there. Just like that. There we go. We can turn the cycle tool and see how she's turning. Good. This does feel kind of tight here. Should be turning easier than this. There it goes. The wasn't quite in there all the way, and now she's turning, but it does not look right. This is way out of time, but should be able to turn it on. Oops, let's plug it in. Okay, power up. There we go. And I have a feeling this is way out of time. This shaft should be forward, not in that position. Let's look at the rest of this before I do an on-power cycle. Yeah, that fluted shaft is a little off too. I'm going to go ahead and cycle this. It is out of time a little bit. Well, if everything went right, it would be ready to go, but it didn't go right. So we're going to have to do a little adjustment here real quick, which I might as well do while we got the camera on. Okay, this fluted shaft in here, or the filter shaft, needs to be adjusted. So it's got set screws over here. Let's loosen these up. One and number two here. Okay, those are loose. Now we really want to take this shaft and want to get this. Okay, so the gear will stay in position, and we're going to actually move this filter shaft right there. Just turn it until it's just before there's a little gap right there, and we're going to tighten these up. So we'll start. That's the first timing adjustment, is that filter shaft. And let's tighten these up. And we'll go to the next timing procedure. This wrench is not the greatest wrench. Okay. Okay, let's turn the machine on. We're going to cycle it and see how this looks. grab one right there. You can see that interposer right there moving. Let me see if I can get closer. We'll take a look at this adjustment. See if it'll focus. There we go. So that should just clear. Find one that's close. Just clear that shaft. If it's too close, it's going to jam on there. And if it's too far, it's not going to work right. Okay, so that shaft is right. Let's come back up here. Oh, before I do this, I'm going to actually tighten these up for sure. Tighten them as tight as you can get them. This is a pretty important area, and these screws will come loose. Alright, tight. Tight. I'm also going to tighten this bracket up the rest of the way. Tight, tight, in. Tight. Okay, so all this stuff is tightened up. And it's sort of typing. Next thing is the key shaft here. It is definitely in the 11 o'clock position. We want it in the 1 o'clock position. So turn the machine off, trip it to trip a cycle, turn it manually, and then you'll find these set screws will appear. Right there's one. And we're going to loosen this screw, or spline screw. Just got to loosen it a little. Alright, next, there's two. There's another one right there. Let's loosen that one. Okay. While it's sitting right here, you can just move this shaft to position. So, noon, 1 o'clock. And then tighten this back up. Tighten it. Go ahead and tighten it all the way up. Let's go ahead and power it on and see where that shaft ends. Looks good. 1 o'clock there. Thereabouts. So let's turn off. Hand cycle. Tighten the first set screw that was still loose. And might as well double check the second one here. Tighten that up. Make sure it's tight. And that's going to do it, I think. Alright, let's give this a shot. Let's get some paper in here. Everything is in tune. It should type. It should type right now. There she goes. The really good check would be the dash underscore. Let's see what happens. If it was out of adjustment here with the timing, you would find this would be almost the first thing to go haywire, would be the dash or the underscore. Both look good. Machine is ready. That's how you put a belt on. IBM Selectric. All right, folks. Dwayne, PhoenixTypewriter.com. Good day.